They thought he was just an old man with a tattered hat and muddy boots, but they had no idea who they were messing with. Harold Jensen, 72, had lived peacefully on his 10-acre family farm for nearly 5 decades, tending to his crops, raising chickens, and sipping sweet tea on his wraparound porch. That all changed when a brand new homeowners association, built around his property, decided they were suddenly in charge. Without warning, Harold started receiving fines in the mail: $150 for having unapproved fencing, $200 for excessive farm noise, and the final straw, a $500 penalty for his rooster crowing at dawn. But here's the kicker: Harold never signed up to be part of their HOA. His land wasn't included in their plot, his property deed had no mention of their authority, and he sure as hell never gave them permission to police his life. Still, they insisted, showing up at his gate with threats of lawsuits, liens, and even forced property assessments. Most would have folded, but Harold wasn't most. Beneath the weathered skin and slow drawl was a sharp legal mind. Decades earlier, Harold had been one of the top agricultural attorneys in the state. He'd retired early to care for his sick wife and live simply, but now they dragged him right back into the courtroom. He knew like the back of his hand. Within a week, Harold had filed a cease and desist, followed by a brutal countersuit for harassment, defamation, and unlawful encroachment. The HOA board scoffed until their mailbox filled with subpoenas, and their legal team realized they were up against a man who not only knew the law, he'd helped write parts of it. In court, Harold calmly laid out land survey records, historical zoning documents, and HOA overreach case law that shredded their every argument. The judge didn't even let the HOA finish their defense before ruling. Harold had never been, and could never be forced to be part of the HOA. The board was slapped with fines, ordered to pay damages for emotional stress, and forced to send a public apology. One board member even resigned mid-hearing. But Harold wasn't done. He rallied the rest of the neighborhood, people who had quietly suffered under the HOA's tyranny, and helped them restructure the entire board. The corrupt president? Gone. The predatory fines? Voided. A year later, Harold's farm still stood proud, roosters crowing like war trumpets, and every morning he smiled from that porch, because sometimes the quietest man in the room is the most dangerous. They came for a farmer. They awakened a legend,